Holy crap, it's cold. Okay, so the weather's cold. Car is obviously going to be cold. But I got some important stuff I need to do today. I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit. That's a little better. It's a little shaky though. A little shaky. Do you guys feel that? Do you guys feel that? Because I can see it. This is an important vlog. It's a little too far, I think. I need help with this whole camera thing. I'm not that super great at it. But this is an important thing that not only have I needed to get done for the car, but needed to talk about. I would hope most, if not all of you, are aware of the fact that you really should be maintaining your vehicle. It's not just something that you buy and don't do anything to. Which is one of the many reasons why I say a car is an investment, just like a house. You know, you gotta do oil changes, fluid changes that are other than oil, you know, transmission fluid, coolant, your diffs, any other fluid if you have a diesel, you know, the diesel DPF, whatever, PP fluid, urea, I don't remember what it is. Anyhow, you need to change this stuff. Or, you know, if you're cool and have a supercharger that is oiled, you gotta change that oil. That's what this is actually all going to be about. And I have a somewhat sad personal story about it. And I'm also going to be buying stuff. One other important thing you should do, and I am not doing this all the time, I definitely should be, but let your car warm up before you move anywhere. I do it as much as I can. I at least let the coolant warm up. The oil temps take a little bit longer, but you know, get the coolant flowing warm. And if I'm in a rush, I'll let it sit for a little bit just to make sure everything's flowing, and then I go, but I don't drive hard at all. I barely even go over, you know, 2,500 RPM at that point. But if I'm not in a rush, I'll make sure that needle is scooting over before I do what I'm doing now. And yes, my clutch pedal still squeaks. Sorry. I've been spraying the crap out of it with this lithium spray stuff, and it doesn't seem to be working. But I'm just going to keep putting more on it until it stops. A couple more updates. Willow is running pretty good. One of the reasons why I'm doing this video, I will basically tell you in a few minutes here. There's been some weird things going on, so I'll just get to that. So the whole point of this, as you can tell, that's a new Prius, and man, those things look goofy, is proper maintenance for your vehicles. Now, I just bought some nice oil. It's a new thing that came out from Liqui-Moly. It's called Molygen. I'll put a picture up here so you can see it. It's green, and you can shine UV light on it and it glows, which seems pretty freaking brilliant to me, especially considering I drive a vehicle that tends to have leaky head gaskets. This will give me the opportunity to be able to do some oil leakage inspections on the car, which is brilliant. So I ordered that. The cheapest place I could get it was from ECS Tuning, which is a Euro car place. They do, you know, BMWs, Audis, Volkswagens, stuff like that. And for a 5-liter bottle, it was like almost 60 bucks shipped, which is not so bad considering it's a high quality oil. I also don't know where they're shipping from, so that could probably apply to that too, where they're actually shipping it from. So I ordered that, and now I am on my, ooh, she doesn't like that. I am on my way to O'Reilly's right now to pick up my oil filter. For the longest time I've been using K&N oil filters. I hear from many people that they're good, so that's what I do. They're a little expensive, but I mean, when it's your baby, you want to put quality products in it so they last as long as they can. and Willow being my daily and still, you know, sports sedan, the more money spent, the better, I guess. So you want to do this, right? You need to do your oil changes on time or on mileage, depending on which one comes first. And I don't know about everyone else, but I don't believe this whole annual oil change thing. I understand technology gets better and all that over time, but I just don't feel like they've come to the point where they can have a year's worth of wear and tear and gunk and junk in oil and still be running well. Now, I could be wrong, obviously, but I don't see it, so I'm not going to use it at all. So I'm going to stick with, you know, 3,000 miles. I believe the owner's manual says like 3,500 for this car, but considering I don't drive a whole lot anymore, it starts getting into extreme use points, and I want to make sure she's going to last me a while. Ooh, that was bad. Sorry about that. So, we're here. It's making Subaru noises, so I really need to get this oil change done. I'll be back in a second. I'm back. Took a little bit to Canadian filter because somebody must have grabbed it previously and was a lazy douche nozzle and didn't put it in the right spot. So this O'Reilly's, they have like K&N stuff like right up front basically, and then they have the rest of it on the back wall. Well, this filter was supposed to be on said black wall. It wasn't. Someone took it and moved it up front. And we also had quite an interesting conversation, me and the salesman. I know the guy, I've been shopping here for friggin' years. Noticed the gold wrench on the filter, and I made a joke about maybe they're gold plating the, you know, the filter paper element. And he's like, oh, don't get them any ideas, they're magnetizing oil. I'm just like, what? I didn't think about it at first. Then, you know, here, let me show you, you know. And we go over and we look at Castrol Magnatech. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, I never thought of it that way. And then we start chit-chatting about it, and he's like, think about it. How are you going to magnetize oil? Now, I'm not saying, you know, necessarily that Magnatech is magnetic in the layman's sense of the word magnetic, where you need some, you know, rare earth minerals or whatever to make an actual metal magnet. But he has a point if that's what they're getting at, other than a, you know, a pun for the oil sticking to the metal, which is very possible too, saying the oil itself is magnetic because of their system that has their molecules that are super sticky to metal. Whatever. Either way, we had a funny conversation about that. So, yeah, I mean, I've used Magnatech before. It's not a bad oil at all. But, I don't know. I used it once, and that was it. I didn't really notice anything spectacular about it. For a while there, I was putting a lot of different oils into my car, which was actually Gertrude. I was putting a lot of oils in her. We were talking about that. Anyway, so back to the main topic of this vlog here is maintenance. Just got my oil filter. You always want to get a high quality oil filter. You always want to get high quality oil to put in there. And you can have your pick. There's plus and minuses to all of them. As long as you're following the recommended specs by your manufacturer, you're usually pretty good, but you can always do better, right? So that's why I bought the Molygen. And Liqui-Moly, I'm fairly certain, is a German company. I'm not 100%, but I'm fairly certain, because most of their oil weights are very leaning towards weights that Euro cars use. You know, some standard normal ones, and then some like way out there ones that are even more weird than you know, diesel weight, which for a while there, a lot of performance cars and performance oriented people were running diesel weight oils because it just made sense. It's what we needed, and it had moly in it still, which apparently, oh, they're chopping down a whole bunch of trees at the park. That's not good. It was a really good compound, and a lot of places started taking it out, and they took it out of diesel oil. Now, I'm not proficient with, you know, the science behind it all, but moly is something good in oil, especially for gasoline engines, which are a little more violent than diesels, because it's a forced combustion, whereas diesels is combustion by compression, so it's natural in a sense. That is a pretty puppy. So Liqui-Moly, obviously, has had moly in it for the longest time, and I'm assuming, of course, the content has changed over time and all that. But when it's in the name, I would hope that they would never take it out for whatever reason. And some of their oils aren't actually rated per some standards because they, oh my gosh, they do it so differently. You know, they still put the components in oils that make it better, that a lot of places quit doing. There's an extremely riced out Lancer hatchback in front of me. You might be able to see it when we pull up next to him. Holy cow. Oh my. And he's playing ghetto music. You can see the wing on it right there. And there's a brand new STI in front. How sweet is that? And because Subarus are cool, we wave at each other. Because Subaru. So anyways, maintain your cars, drive them within their limits, and take care of them, because they are an investment. They're an expensive investment, and if you don't, you'll regret it. You do your oil changes on time with quality parts. You do all fluid changes on time with quality parts, manufacturer recommended or high. And you go from there. Do plugs, do wires if you have wires, do, you know, it's not out that you need to replace a coil, but if the coil goes bad, obviously you need to replace it, so do that. Just take care of it, man. It's your baby, right? For some of us, it's the closest thing you'll ever have to a child, and I definitely feel that way right now, even though I know Des and I will be having children at some point. You gotta love this thing, man. If you beat on it, be ready to pay the consequences. You're gonna be spending more money on maintenance and on gas, because you're going to be using a whole bunch of it. And make sure you drive it correctly. Going from an NA car, hey, there's an Evo. Super, super loud Evo. Going from an NA car to this now turbo car has changed my viewpoint on many things. Like, I have to take care of this in a different way. And a lot of cars now are coming turbo from the factory, and they're just little putt-putt runabouts as a way to increase fuel economy. And they have the same maintenance requirements of a car that is turboed for horsepower. Read the damn manual. That's basically what I'm getting at. Take care of your car the way it's meant to be taken care of. And I have to be really careful with mine, because I'm going to get into my story now, and that's where I'll close out this vlog here. I bought this car, obviously, from a car lot. Not obviously, but from a car lot. So I spent a little more on it than what I should have, but I really wanted this car. I got a Carfax, but there's no service history, so I don't know the last time the oil has been changed. I don't know if the transmission fluid has ever been changed. I don't know if the diff oil's ever been changed. I don't know any of that. So one of the first things I told myself that I'm going to do is take care of all of that. And this is something I recommend for everyone buying a car, especially if it's off a person. You don't know whether they're telling you the truth or not. Unless they have a very substantial service history, I would just work on doing everything yourself from the get-go. So an oil change, spark plugs are usually pretty good, especially in a Subaru, because most people don't replace them anyways. And I mean, just every fluid. Now if it's an automatic trans and you're not sure when's the last time the fluid has been changed, if your car's over 100,000 miles that you're picking up, I wouldn't even risk it. Because usually by that point, what's helping that transmission function is the old dirty fluid that's in there. And that is because you don't know when that transmission fluid has been replaced. And if you don't do it on the intervals, the fluid is what keeps that transmission working. Because there's, friction material and friction modifiers in there that keep it together, and they were in there initially to help the transmission function, but after it gets worn out, the clutches in the transmission start going bad and start putting pieces of clutch material into the fluid, and then that's what keeps it together. You, sir, lady, are a wiener for doing that. About the car, I'm like, I really need to get this oil change done. I've been I'll be honest, I've been beating on it a little bit. It's a WRX, it's my first turbo car, I'm having fun. But the engine started making some old oil noises, and the transmission the whole time has been a little, I don't know, sticky. Doesn't feel right. And I don't know if that's how these are supposed to feel. The last manual car I owned was a Civic, which is totally different. And I had a 240 in the past, and that's of course way different, and there's a lot. I need to get this car where it should be. I just pulled in a Subaru now. Perfect, running like a champ, running happy, and ready to kick some ass. So I'm looking into transmission fluid, diff fluid for the back. I will be getting a short shifter with some new bushings and mountings and all that, and I'm putting really nice oil in there, so I'm hoping it gets here soon because I really need it in there. It's getting worse. And yeah, I mean, just take care of your cars. My sad story is I relied too much on the oil change indicator in the Civic. I should not have assumed that it worked because it was a 98, I believe, so it was an older car. And when I first did the oil change in the car, you stick your key in that little hole and it resets the light. And well, it never turned back off. So I was relying on that. I was already over my mileage. I wasn't over time, but I was over the mileage. And eventually it started to tick. Then it started to knock. And then I got rid of the car. So Jeff, that's what happened to the Civic. I put a lot of time and money into that car. And it's pretty much my fault that it died. But I also was relying on the car to tell me when to change its oil. So don't do that either. Just follow the sticker, follow the recommendations in your manual, and do it right, because you will regret it. And I hope it doesn't happen to Willow, because I will cry a lot. So I think that's it, everyone. Maintain your vehicles. Thanks for watching. Happy Sunday. And happy Halloween. It's in a couple days. So if you're going out partying, be safe, have fun, and enjoy it. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe if you like it. Share it around, please, so we can get scoobs everywhere. I want to be able to educate the world on many things, mostly cars. So thanks for watching. God bless. Have a good one.